Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host, as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
All right.
Stuart.
All right.
And Liam.
What's happening?
Guys, how you all doing? Dave, start with yourself.
I'm no bad, mate. Living the furlough life.
Aye, another 3 weeks off, Whistledown in lockdown, so...
Tier 4.
Much planned with your time off?
Absolutely nothing.
Good. A lot of Call of Duty, I can imagine.
A lot of Call of Duty.
Stuart, how are you getting on?
I'm fine, mate. Doing away. Just sitting in the house, working from home, as usual.
Yeah. How you finding working from home?
I've been like that for, 4 years, mate.
Aye.
So I just go into the office when I have to pick up mail and do some stuff. But no, I've been on. It's like I've been on furlough for 4 years. So I know how Dave feels, because sometimes it's like Groundhog Day. You know, you get up, you do the same stuff. But no, it's okay. I'm enjoying life.
Good to hear. And Liam, how are you getting on?
I know, bad, mate. Still working from home. Nothing's changed for me, really. Just kicking about, playing COD when I'm maybe working.
You won't listen to this.
They didn't like football, so it's all right.
I can see it does absolute fuck all at work.
I'm safe.
Good. So yeah, apologies we've not been had a pod in the last few weeks. I was started a new job and it's been pretty hectic getting things up and running with that, but kind of things kind of a bit more steady now, so glad to get back to it. So we're going to have a chat about the Celtic game. We're also going to have a chat about Jack Ross, because it's been a year that he's been in charge now, or just over a year, but his first game was a year ago today. So Johnstone game, and finish up my game of start bench sale as always. So Stuart, starting with yourself, what was your kind of thoughts on the first half compared to the second half? We're getting the second half because that's where the meat of it was, but what was your thoughts in the first half? I know you're a bit frustrated from speaking to you beforehand.
Yeah, well, the first half, like every Hibs fan, we were complaining because they just sat back all the time. You know, and I don't want to be negative. I want to be positive, because we did play well the second half. But the first half, you cannot give a team like Celtic or Rangers or Aberdeen any time in the ball. And that's what we've done. We gave them time in the ball. And if they've got the ball, what we got to do? Sit back, and of course, we've got to have our goalkeeper in form. And Rocky was. So we were lucky. You know, we could have been down 2 or 3. But it was just fortunate that we had good saves and Celtic aren't really playing. And Jack Rossi's had a good couple of chats, you know, at half-time to the players, and they've came out and responded. Why did they not do that for word go? That's my opinion in the matter.
Liam, we've seen, I don't know if you watched the game at all, but Jose Mourinho's game been getting a bit of plaudits for the way he kind of approached the game against Man City. Man City had all the ball and all that stuff, and Jose turned around and went, well, we got the 3 points. Up until the 80th minute, was it kind of like a flawless game plan, or would you like to have seen us be a bit more aggressive first half?
I would have liked to have seen us be a bit more aggressive. You know, when we had Lennon in charge, he wasn't afraid of the old firm, and he set out to attack them from minute one, which was exciting to watch. Obviously, there was goals. We had a lot of good results against, the old firm in Aberdeen and that when he was in charge. But listen, you look at the game plan and it has worked. I don't think Celtic, if they were their normal selves, I think we would have been a wee bit more in trouble. But I don't think they created an awful lot throughout the whole of the game. They weren't really too dangerous. So, the game plan, to me, it didn't really bother me that much. We were sitting back and kind of soaking up the pressure to hit them on the break.
Dave, Stuart mentioned like the half-time team talk there. Do you think it was a case of, right, okay, we've got into 0-0 now, so this is where we're at, and that was sort of always the game plan? Or do you think it was like, you know what, Celtic aren't that great, we can have a go at them here, and here's where we can exploit them?
Well, I think Jack Ross compared to the game we played at Parkhead, and we were beat by half-time, so he just wanted to stay in the match. But I think we were fortunate to go in 0-0. So you can say the game plan worked, because at the end of the day we were still in the game at half-time, but there was a bit of luck involved in that. And then we did realise that they're not that good, and we went at them. So see if we went at them for the start, what would have happened, or when it was 2-0 up, if we'd kept going, I don't know why we then just decided to drop deep, considering we were creating a lot of chances. We were the better team. And then we reverted back to first half for the last 15 minutes, which it didn't work.
That's what bothers me, Dave. Why, when we go 2-up, 1-up sometimes, we revert to what we were playing before? Why not go for the jugular? I know that the team, they always say a team in a game always has their 10, 15 minutes, probably in both halves. So, yes, they will come into the game. However, if we kept on going for their jugular, we could have maybe got that last goal, the third, and that would have been the game put to head.
Well, we'll get back to the sort of last 15 minutes in a minute, but like I say, we did have that 2-goal lead you mentioned. I mean, first one, it was a penalty that was awarded. Brown knocked over Boyle. Quick round from everybody, yes or no? Was it a penalty?
Probably.
Yeah.
Soft, but
Liam, it was soft, but what Brown's done is he's done a schoolboy error. He didn't have to dive in.
So Nisbet stepped up to take the penalty and it was saved, but Murphy was the fastest to react and slotted in the rebound. I've seen BBC, Cliff Pike and Tanner post-match referring to him as the on-loan Rangers man during this, and even BBC going as far as to say the on-loan Rangers Ranger, and saying how the goal might mean more to Rangers than it would to Hibs, which was, Hibs have scored and that's their first thought. Bit frustrating to hear. But anyway, Murphy, a good game overall, got man of the match. Liam, are we starting to see the best of Murphy?
I hope so. I said it from the start. I think he's going to be a really good signing. He's obviously a fantastic player. We've seen it for years when he played for Motherwell. He's went and proven himself down south, and even when he came back up to Rangers, he was still good. I mean, I think he's maybe taken a wee while to get up to speed. He's always had a wee bit of problem with injuries, which is a shame. But listen, if this is him up to speed and he's only going to get better, then that's only as good for Hibs. I think he's a cracking player.
Yeah, I really impressed him. Very deserving of the man of the match, as we said. And like I said, the penalty miss. Jack Rowe spoke after the game about how he might need to change the penalty taker. Dave, would you take him off penalties? Nisbet?
Nah, because he strikes a ball well. The one that they missed against Hearts was a couple of centimetres off being tapped in. And the other one the other night, this is what annoys me about penalties. Scott Bain dives the other way, then that he goes in and they're like, slotted at him, good penalty.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Just the keeper saved it. You can't take him off.
It's a good height for Bain, and he goes the right way.
Good height, but he dives the other way, then everybody thought it was a good finish.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Scott Bain was about a foot off his line.
He was well off his line. I would have been interested if Murphy didn't put that away with her. Let's face it wouldn't have got fucking re-given.
Well, I was watching on the, how Hibs have usually got that different angle. I don't know if you have seen it. Well, the camera was behind the linesman. He was standing about, at the 6-yard box and watching the penalty, and he never bothered about anything. When they saved it, he was watching, and then the rebound went in and he ran away when they scored. So that wasn't going to get retaken. There's no danger.
Yeah, probably not.
And after that, we got 2-0 up. We had a free kick in our own half. I believe it was Porteous that took the free kick, launched it long. Murphy headed it on. Nisbet with a left-footed shot. Liam, fantastic composure from Nisbet after missing the penalty to take that one first time on his weaker foot, and great goal.
Aye, a fantastic finish. Like you said, especially on his weaker foot. Any other player, you'd forgive them for, not having the confidence to take the shot on or scuffing it because they'd missed the penalty. But, give him credit where it's due. He's missed the penalty, but he's come up with an absolutely superb finish there. And I think it speaks volumes about his character. I don't think he's one that tends to give up. I think he keeps fighting and fighting, and that's what I love about Nisbet. I think he's one of the players that will keep working for you and keep working until the final whistle. And
Stuart, it's great to see us. We had a free kick in our own half. 3 touches later, it's in the back of the net. The free kick, the header, and then the left-footed shot. I mean, 3 touches. Yeah, great to see a well-worked set piece.
Yeah, Jamie Murphy got up there, and of course they maybe worked at it, set pieces because it played to him. He laid it on, and of course Nisbet came running in behind him. Aye, it was good. It was good to see. Nisbet, I don't know about you guys, but it reminds me of Keith Wright. The way Keith Wright used to run in behind the defenders. I was watching, and it's that angle of the camera again at Easter Road at the show. That's what reminded me. He's got the same build. He reminds me, Keith Wright, and anybody that reminds us of Keith Wright, well, we've got a good player in our hand.
Yeah,
really.
Andy McCall was asking, can you see him at the Euros next year? So this is a question for everybody. Dave, start with yourself.
Yep, he should be there. It's on form, so 100%.
Definite. If the Shankland's there, I can't see why he can't be there.
Aye. It's as simple as that. The boy scores goals. Scotland needs someone who can score goals. McBurney is feared of the ball. And I think Nisbet would be a perfect partner for Dykes up front for when we beat England in the groups.
So at this point, Lennon started trending on Twitter, but we're not here to talk about Celtic. Why would we do that in a Hibs product? We're here to talk about Hibs. So I mentioned about the 80-minute mark earlier on. What was your guys' thoughts on the defensive performance up until the 80th minute? We'll get into the last sort of 10, 15 minutes of the game in a second. But in terms of the up to the 80th minute, what was your thoughts on the defensive performance? Dave, start with yourself.
It was decent, and a few maybe shaky points that Porteous maybe diving in for a couple of things. But apart from that, I thought we were pretty solid. I thought Mackie was probably the best at the back four. Paul McGinn, again, usual performance for him was pretty decent, but then the last 10 minutes happened.
Stuart, you sort of talked about earlier on, you feel that we should have pushed for a third rather than...
Yeah. Well, they always say, Gav, the best line of defence is attack. And, the more you sit back, the more chances that you've got of losing a goal. And we were a bit shaky. As Dave says, we got away with a couple of things at the back, especially Porteous. Mackie, I've got to, applaud him. That young laddie, he's been through a lot. And I thought he played fantastic. Because it was at Frimpong's down the right, isn't it? How many games was it we went without getting beat or sort of losing? I think losing a goal. Was it about 4 or 5 games at the start of the season?
Open play.
Open play. Yeah, but it still is. It was still done all right.
7 games.
7 games. You know what I mean? So we've done really well. But what's happened over the last 4?
It's kind of been tits up a bit.
Oh, fuck aye. And it's demoralising, all that hard work. And that's what I'm saying is, are we being unlucky? And is it bad having a go at the defence because we've played so well?
Could also be the fact that there's not really much competition for places across that back four. Like you look at, obviously, you've got Graham McGregor, but they're, 30-something years old. They're not going to be playing every week. They'll maybe come in for the odd couple of games and then back out again. There's no one really there to push Hamlin and Porteous and whoever the fullbacks are going to be. Like last season we had Jackson who pushed. I know Porteous was out for a lot of the season and Jackson did play, but if we had someone like that with a bit of quality to push the defenders, and it might give them a bit of a kick up the arse, really.
Gav, sorry, do you know any youngsters that are coming through and defenders? Because I'm not up to speed with them.
Not really in terms of the defence. No, there's a couple of young laddies. Obviously, I think Shanley and Bradley are the only two that are kind of near the first team at the moment, but none in terms of defence that are kind of near the first team. Well, there's that. We'll come back to chat about the sort of January window in a minute in terms of, and obviously chat about the defence as part of that. But sort of getting back to the goals that were conceded, it's a poor clearance from Porteous. Celtic have a shot on goal. It hits McGinn's hand. Penalty. I mean, let's chat about the penalty first. Dave, should it have been given?
Absolutely not. I think Madden should be embarrassed that he's switched allegiances, because as far as I'm concerned, he's a dirty orange bastard, and he's jumped over and he's a Tim, so nobody likes a turncoat. Absolutely nobody likes a turncoat, and that's what he's done.
Right.
I remember I sort of went and got the quote because I remember this from years ago of Roy Keane speaking when Republic of Ireland never qualified for the World Cup because Thierry Henry handled the ball, and everyone was going on about the Thierry Henry handball, and he said, "Yeah, of course he handled it, but I'd focus on why he didn't clear it. I'd be more annoyed about my defenders and my goalkeeper than Thierry Henry. How can you let the ball bounce in the 6-yard box? I mean, it's just outside the 6-yard box, but." Should we really be more annoyed at the defence, Liam, in terms of Porteous's clearance than potentially being annoyed at Madden?
Aye, absolutely. I looked at the highlights back again today, and Porteous, he lets the ball bounce. I don't know if it's twice or if it's just once, but you can't let the ball bounce in the box without at least trying to go for it to clear it. He's left it to bounce. He's got Edouard just in front of him, and we all ken how dangerous he can be. If Edouard brings the ball down, he can spin, and it would, more than likely 9 times out of 10 go in the back of the net. If I'm Porteous, you need to be making an effort to either get the header and get it away for the box or put it out for a corner. As far as I'm concerned, I don't understand why Porteous is letting it bounce in that position. And like Dave says, it's an absolute farcical decision of a penalty. But the handball rule is so ambiguous these days. If it hits your hand at any point, there's going to be a claim for a penalty, and I think Madden's maybe just shat himself because it's Celtic and thought, need to give him a penalty.
First half, Ayer hands the ball.
Exactly. Where's the consistency? But we've been saying this for years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you could say, like Bain coming off the line with his the penalty and then the handball and stuff with VAR, would that be better? But if you've seen the mess that VAR's causing and it's not exactly a solution. But yeah, a bit frustrating with the refereeing decisions as well. Second one, a bit similar. It's Hanlon this time, who kind of slices his clearance and it falls to Laxalt. I hope I pronounced that right. Who smashes it past, and off here Marciano has no chance.
What do you say? Shocking. Just did he switch off? Is it maybe getting tired? I don't know. Is it just? It might not just be the body's tired. It's maybe the mind. You just switch off a second, and he didn't mean it because no, especially Paul Hanlon being a Hibby, he dived in the Hibs strip. He wouldn't have meant it. It's just been scuffed it, and it fell right at the boy, the wee boy at Laxall or whatever his name is. You couldn't write it. Just so unlucky. And, it's hard to bear, honestly.
You sort of touched on this earlier on, so I don't want to go over it too much, but like I say, I know you sort of mentioned about this sort of defence, how we started the season really well defensively last few games. I mean, but if you look at the sort of, even the 2 goals against Aberdeen, the 2 goals here today, Dave, it seems to be individual errors rather than the defensive unit, the way they're set up or anything in terms of tactics or anything like that.
Yeah, you can put it down to bad luck, but it is lack of quality and bad decision making. The Porteous a couple of times this season, it's normally a combination between him and McGinn communication wise, and then obviously you had Hanlon the other day, so it's just a lack of quality. We need, I think what Liam said right there, we need competition.
We've not got it though.
Them, there's nobody.
No.
I think Dave's absolutely spot on with lack of quality. I mean, if you're a centre half and it's late in the game, the ball falls to you in the box. There was no one around Paul Hanlon. He just needs to put his foot through it, and he scuffed it. Now, I mean, that's if he boots that out the park or up towards their goal, we get 3 points. Not a problem. It's frustrating because we can that he's no shite. He's a decent player. He can put his foot through the ball, and I mean, the ball's falling to him. He's got to clear it. He's got to.
Aye. But it's funny, my old man never talks about the Hibs much. He's frustrated. He's 82. He's frustrated at the Hibs as well. But he spoke to me on the phone just the other day. He went, or was it yesterday? That he says, is Porteous getting too big for his boots? And I went, I never thought about that. He says, see, since that lad he started playing for Scotland, he says he's never been the same. And I thought, well, right away, just another view for an older person. He says, I think that lad is getting too big for his boots.
Maybe I'm being generous, and let me know if I am. But to me, Porteous, well, he's 20, just turned 21. He's still a young laddie. I think we forget that sometimes. If you're going to play a young laddie at centre back, they're going to make mistakes, and they're going to have to learn from them. I think, you look at the last sort of 4 games, or sort of 4, or sort of the Scottish Cup game and the last 3 league games at the very least. The Hamilton game, he scored an own goal after a good first half, a bit of a shaky second half. Hearts game was probably at fault for at least one of the goals, and then the Aberdeen game, he had a poor game, and then the Celtic game, a poor last 10 minutes. I thought he was actually really impressive until the last 10 minutes. I think he was one of our better players until then, until those sort of errors cropped in. I think young laddies are going to make mistakes. I think he's only going to improve. I still think we'll sell him for 20 million. But yeah, I'm a bit more frustrated with handling because I expect more from him. He's the finished article. I think he should be clearing that without any issue.
Players get 10 out for less though. The Porteous done the last 4 games. There's like Mackie got chucked right under the bus. If Heckenbottom
correct.
One bad game at Ibrox, and then that was him. Bye.
Yeah.
Chipped out. Do you know what I mean? So he maybe does just need managed better, but he needs competition. He needs to think he can lose his place. Whereas now he thinks he's one of the first names in the team sheet, and it can't.
At the moment, they can do anything they want, and they'll still be in the team for the next game.
So, I mean, we're going to come back to January in a second. So, you guys, but just sort of, we'll cover the defence now and come back to it in a second. You guys would definitely like to see us strengthen in January in the defence in terms of getting competition in.
Aye.
Yeah, the squad. We make all over the park. We make subs, right? We're like Scotland. When that Scotland played Serbia, and then the 10 off McGinn, Christie, Dykes, and then put on who they put on, automatically Scotland looked weaker. Serbia scored, and then we were like, we're going to get lucky to get to penalties here because the team's not good anymore. The exact same as our night. See if that game had 10 minutes left, we were beat because the team that we had on the park, the players that come on, weren't making us stronger. They're gradually making us weaker. We just we're not good enough, like squad wise at all.
I can't believe that Stephen McGinn is getting on before some other players. You know, he came in there and they were putting him up. That just showed that he was going into defence and he was panicking. But to bring on a guy, Stephen McGinn, who wasn't even part of his plans, he was helping them train, letting them train at Eastmains, but he's now coming on.
The Stephen McGinn one baffles me.
Oh,
it really does. I don't understand why we signed him.
Nah, don't know why.
I've only seen limited bits of him. I don't think he was really at fault for us going the game finishing 2-2. I think it was more the sort of the defenders. And like I say, I thought he's looked solid enough in the cup games, but obviously that's against lesser opposition.
Yeah, I'm not saying the folk coming on were the fault. I'm just saying, like, if that game had 10 minutes left, then what would we have done?
Yeah,
I know maybe when they came out, that didn't come on with 10 minutes to go. I'm well aware of that,
but as you're saying, Dave, it's weakening the team. We're bringing in. It's what you just said about the substitutions on the bench. We've not got anything as good as coming into the team like Scotland. We're actually just bringing in players that it's weakening the team, and it's no. You can't help. If they're listening, sorry about it, but we need competition that's going to come onto the park that is going to have fight for that position, which the other is the guys that are in the first 11 know they're not going to do with that lot. So
the title of this episode was 2 dropped or 1 gained. Guys, how do you guys view it in terms of the points?
It's easy for me. 2 dropped. Definite.
Dave?
Yeah, 2 dropped after the game anyway.
Liam?
2 dropped, absolutely. After being 2-0 up, it is typical Hibs to throw a 2-goal lead at home away though. So maybe 1 gained. Who knows?
And we asked you guys on Twitter what you thought. 82% said 2 points dropped. So yeah, a lot of people agreeing with you there. So as we mentioned at the start of the show, that has been 1 year since Jack Ross came in. His first game against Motherwell was a year ago to the day. So just generally, guys, overall thoughts in the first year. Dave, starting with yourself. Let's hear some nice positive thoughts.
shouldn't have started with me then. I just need to be honest, because I think he's done all right. But so what would I give him? What would you say if somebody's all right looking? You maybe give them a 6 out of 10. That's what that. I'm not talking about his looks. He's much better looking than a 6 out of 10. But I mean his performance. I would say about a 6 out of 10. But average. We beat who expect us to beat, and we didn't beat who I didn't think we'll beat. So there you go.
He's saying a 6 out of 10. I'll say, like a school teacher, good, but could do better. That's it. He's done well. Didn't get me wrong, and he's brought a lot of positivity into the actual into Easter Road, East Mains, and the club. However, there's times that I could probably run down to the bench and give him a shake, because I still think that he's quite negative when it comes to going up 1 goal or probably 2 against Celtic and sitting back, because he's no shouting at them to get out, and push up maybe a good 10, 15 yards. He's not doing that. He's watching them, so they must know what they have to do when they're in that position, because he's not talking to them, so they must know. So, yeah, I think he's got to change that aspect of his game. But, yeah, I do like him. I've got to say that. I like him.
Liam, quickly, your overall thoughts?
Similar to Dave, I think a 6 out of 10. And then I can take points out of Stuart as well. I mean, good, can do better. No, had great results against Hearts or the Old Firm. I think have we beat Hearts once since he's been in charge?
Wilson Boyle at Tynecastle.
We played them. Is it 4 times?
3 times, I think.
3 times. I was happy to give him the benefit of the doubt until the start of this season, when he can bring in his own kind of players and stuff. I suppose with COVID, you kind of need to give him a bit of slack. Maybe we didn't spend I know we spent a lot, but maybe under normal circumstances, we probably would have been able to spend a wee bit more. But listen, he's trying to bring an attractive style of football. I think his habit of trying to defend 1 goal leads is a bit annoying, because we're always going to concede a goal. We've not got the best defence in the world. But I'm happy so far.
You mentioned about the sort of transfer windows there and bringing its own players. I mean, I was quite surprised at reading through this team earlier on. So this is the game against Motherwell a year ago today. The start in the lineup was Maxwell in goals, Naismith, Porteous, Hanlon, Stevenson, Hallberg, Slivka, Allen, Newell, and then Canberry and Doidge up top. So 3 of those players, Porteous, Hanlon and Newell, started against Celtic. So there has been quite a bit of an overhaul from the squad, Dave.
Aye, and that's one of the things that I would say is the promising bit, because the players we have brought in has worked. Nisbet's been decent. Gogic has been okay. And Paul McGinn at right back. So quite happy with them. And I think we've got potential that another couple of windows that him and Matthew and that are obviously working well together. So it's got promising there, but the whole sitting on a lead thing needs to be worked on. And to be honest with you, I find us quite boring sometimes. So I think that maybe that aspect needs to change, because I think when we go with it, we've got exciting players and we play good football. So I would just like to maybe see Hibs with the shackles taken off a wee bit more. What are you laughing at, Liam?
I'm saying, you want to see us with the shackles off, man?
Aye.
Did he bring you a kink into the podcast?
Stuart, Liam mentioned about sort of COVID there and how that's maybe sort of impacted the squad. We spoke in the Celtic review about the size of the squad and about not having the quality in the bench. Do you think that's maybe one of the reasons why we've kind of put the budget towards quality rather than quantity, and it was probably about a risk that we're now sort of paying the penalty for?
Whatever the restraints are and whatever they can do, I've got to give, because we're not running that as a business. They are. We've got to let them get on with it, and if that's what they can afford, that's what they can afford. You know, what's the point of being like Rangers and they're, what is it, 15.9 million in debt? Okay, they're doing well again, but they've still got that debt, because I'd rather have my club there than not having them at all and watching what we're doing. But at least we're still sitting just about third. Hey, we're still doing all right.
We're going to, I know we've already touched on the defence. We're going to come back to the squad in a second. That's the next question before you jump ahead. But this one's more just about Jack Ross. What does he need to do to kind of get from a 6 out of 10? Or, you know, Stuart, you said, could do better. What does he need to do better? Dave, start with yourself.
Get a result against a team that we're challenging for positions for. That's it.
Yeah, just simple as that. Needs to sort of beat an Aberdeen quite comfortably or get a win against the Celtic Rangers.
I think we were quite poor. We basically, what did we do against Aberdeen? Nothing.
No.
Hanlon, was it Paul Hanlon that said that the week before, like obviously the Derby defeat, no, it was Joe Newell, that it was obviously quite hard to take and it kind of showed against Aberdeen. But Jack Ross before Aberdeen were, this is a chance for us to put last week right in that, and then we go out and we put that performance in. It was weak, it was pathetic. So I think we need to see more fight, and then just a result against a good result, not just beating teams we should be beating.
Stuart, is it just as simple as results against the bigger teams, or is there something else you want to see more from Jack Ross?
I want a wee bit more offensive in the team. I want to see us attacking, especially, I keep on saying, into the famous 5, because it used to be down the slope, right? And that's the second half. Every Hibs fan, I can't hear you laughing because I'm not doing this.
Oh, we're laughing.
Right?
No, you're mentioning rival podcasts, but that's fine.
Another podcast.
Oh, sorry.
You're saying that you want long bangers hit for down the slope.
Who is this amateur Gav? Where did you get him from?
No, I just, being a Hibs fan, you used to be really excited for the second half. I want to see Jack Ross getting installed into his players. Fucking go for it. I didn't want to see this shit sitting back on 1 or 2 goals. Fucking go for the jugular, man. I hate it. I hate when we're so negative.
Play that in the dressing room before the St Johnstone game. I fucking hate it.
Liam, is it just like say? Is it just sort of too often that we've sort of seen that we've got a lead and we're trying to protect the second half rather than going for the jugular, or is there still more that you want to see? Something else more you want to see from Jack Ross?
No, Gav, it's simple for me. It's stop focusing on your match day outfits. Start focusing on making good substitutions. And that is that.
Hey, he's getting that right. His match day outfits are tremendous. So what? We've already spoke about the defence, how we feel that they need, especially at centre back, need a bit of competition. I think full back we're all right. Personally, I think. But anyway, Callum Brown was asking, what do we need to strengthen and where? So where else in the park would you like to see? Obviously, January's, 6 weeks away now, 5.5 weeks away. What do you want to see us bring in, Dave?
We need somebody to push Hanlon and Porteous, so another centre half. We probably need, I think we're all right at left back now because of Doidge and Mackey. I'm quite happy with that, and Stevenson. I'd say another central midfielder. They sit with Newell and Gogic, because Stevie Mallan, it's not doing it for me.
If something happens to Gogic, we're kind of in trouble.
Yeah. And then probably another striker, because Gullan's not really getting a chance, even though I think Gullan's probably good enough, to be honest. But I'd say centre mid and centre defenders probably top 2.
Liam, what are you thinking for the January window?
Definitely a centre half. A striker for me. I think we're all right at centre midfield. I keep forgetting that we've signed Kyle McGuinness.
Yeah.
So, I've not got a clue where he is at the moment. He's injured.
I forgot about him.
I forgot about him as well on Saturday. I was thinking, I'm sure we've got another player that could play in there, and he's not on the bench at that. I was like, fucking, It's fucking Kyle McGuinness.
We're still light though. We're still light. I think
Yeah.
Mallan and Halberg are no.
I think we're light, we're light, but at this moment in time, I think maybe our priority should be getting a centre half and a striker. I wouldn't mind getting another winger in as well.
But like I say, we're obviously chatting about business. We need to get done. Jack Ross has spoken about how we've started conversations with Joe Newell and Rocky Marciano's representatives in terms of new contracts. Stuart, again, Callum asking this, is Rocky got to be the top priority in terms of business that we need to get done?
Definitely. He's has he got a year's left his contract? Is it just till May?
Summer, yeah.
Summer.
Aye.
I see. I think it's down to family life. He's happy here, so I think it's all down because you ask any player, and I've dealt with some players with the agency, and it's all down to speaking to the missus. Mm-hmm. So it's down to speaking to missus, and is your family happy where they are? So we always think or hear that they are happy, the Marcianos. You know, Shelley always says that she loves Edinburgh, so it could be down to that.
Liam, Rocky's probably been the most sort of consistent and best performing goalkeeper we've had in about 20 years, wasn't he?
Certainly in my lifetime, of what I remember from watching Hibs. Growing up, I've always had absolute shambles, embarrassments, disgraces of goalkeepers.
Basketball players.
Jesus fuck. We've had fucking shinty players in goals, man. But now we've got Marciano. He's a regular international. It seems too good to be true. Get the boy tied down. I think he likes it at Hibs. He's not going to go anywhere else in Scotland, is he? Is he good enough to go down to England? Maybe. But what's the point in risking it? He's happy at Hibs. How old is he now? 31?
30, maybe he's about turning 31.
You know, how realistically, how many more times does he want to jump about? None. Get me on the phone to him. I'll sort it out.
Just quickly, Dave, I mean, you know, goalkeepers can play till they're 35, 36. In a way, we could get him tied down and he could be our goalkeeper for the next 4 seasons.
Tie him down. Get these shackles on him, Liam.
Absolutely. Get him dusted.
For down south because he's not good enough for the ball at his feet. He's kicking. So I think that, to be fair, I think the game that up here kind of suits him quite well.
So Hibs have got to look at it realistically and say, right, if we have to go out and get someone the same, probably not as good as Liam, but you're saying, you know, he's international class. Where do we get an international class goalie? So we'd have to spend money. So why not just give it to the goalie that we've got and say, right, there's, I don't know what the figures would be, but let's say 100 grand, 150, 250. Say there's your signing on fee, and that's it. Sign for 2 years, 3 years.
You're saying that, Stuart. There's a perfectly good international quality goalie that's at Derby County now that I wouldn't mind having at Hibs.
Aye, doubt that.
To be fair though, I think you know, we were speaking about youth players earlier on. Dabrowski is very highly rated, and I don't think he would accept just sort of being a number 2 for whatever. I think, you know, I think we could be in worse situations than him coming in if we couldn't sort something out with Marciano. But that's just going on reputation, not from what we've seen. Obviously, I've not been along. I can't even mind 2 years on loan at this season.
Dumbarton, I think.
Dumbarton. He was at Cowdenbeath last year.
Yeah, very, very high plaudits before his injury. So, aye. But so there was a decent goalkeeper there. But I guess that seems to be at least one position where we're all right.
Long as we didn't replace him with Dylan Barnes anyway.
Oh, saved 2 penalties at the weekend, Gav, Dabrowski.
Did he?
Aye, for Dumbarton, aye.
Brilliant. There you go.
I made that up.
Did you? Dick. I completely fell for that.
Guys, I haven't got that on my notes.
I'm back in.
Sell Marciano now.
We're speaking about Jack Ross, his next game to kick on and kind of get this could do better. Start this could do better is against St Johnstone tomorrow night. Just quickly on this, because a lot of people might be listening to this and the game's already been and gone. But the Saints are 8th in the table, 15 points from the 14 games, 10 points behind Hibs going into the game. Most recent game had a 1-1 draw with Motherwell. Stevie May starting to get him in amongst the goals again after sort of, you know, falling out of favour at Aberdeen. Seems to be back enjoying his football at St Johnstone. Just overall thoughts on the game so far? Dave?
Been all right. It's quite solid, isn't they? Like, with it being that glamorous. They've not really got flair players since Matty Kennedy left, and but they've still got that wee guy in the middle. Was it McCann? He's meant to be decent.
Yeah.
Ali McCann. And Wollerspoon is doing all right, but yeah, I think they're all right.
So before I started recording this, I checked to see it, but the press conference hadn't been uploaded yet. So no idea about Doidge. I know speaking before the game, Ross was hopeful that Doidge would be fit. If he is fit, Liam, would you revert back to the 4-4-2?
I'd be happy to see him come back in and be up there with Nisbet. I think that's where Nisbet, plays his best football when he's up with Doidge. So 100% for me, chuck him back in.
And it's just, Dave, it's just simple as, dropping Stevie Mallan again, who hasn't done much in the sort of games he's had.
I'd potentially keep Doidge on the bench, if I'm honest, and hey, Murphy left, Boyle right, and maybe like a 3-prong with Nisbet in the middle. Mallan could sit out, or he could start here another chance. He never really done anything drastically wrong. Like, I know he is scapegoated quite a lot, but I wouldn't bring Doidge right back in.
Stuart, was it obviously speaking about Doidge and Mallan, is there any other personnel changes you'd like to see ahead of the game, and how would you see us sort of setting up? Would you like to see us going back to the 2 forwards at home?
I would, if we're playing at home against St Johnstone, if we go and play one up top, I'd be fucking annoyed. I'd really like to see either Doidge or Gullan coming in. I would give young Gullan in to play up with Nisbet. Why not? Give him a chance. The boy's been on the bench. Doidge's coming back from an injury.
We should be beating teams like St Johnstone. I know they're difficult to beat. They do, they do have some no bad players, but they've not got 11 good players. So go for it. I keep on saying it. Hibs are going to give somebody a doing. And I don't know when. Let the shackles off, Dave. Let the shackles off. And let them go and play that game.
I think there's an opportunity to kind of. I like that idea. I would say I think Nisbet showed that on his up top on his own anyway, he was struggling to kind of hold the ball up. That's something Doidge is really good at. Don't know if that's Gullan's strength, but even then, there's ways to adapt the way you play rather than sort of playing more direct to get that potential partnership of Gullan and Nisbet up and running. But to me, I think if Doidge is fit, I think we'll see return to the 4-4-2 and the sort of same sort of team we've been playing. But I think Murphy, one of the reasons Murphy's probably had a better game against Celtic is because with the three midfielders, he was playing a bit more advanced on the left-hand side rather than sort of playing in a more of a flat 4-4-2. So I'd personally like to see that stuck around or some sort of variation with that.
That's when Boyle's at his best as well when he's out in the right. So that's you playing Boyle right, Murphy left in two advanced positions, getting the ball in. But you should have a midfielder coming up behind this bit. It doesn't mean necessarily. I just don't think Doidge has been performing that well. But I can see why you would bring him back in. But
well, it's for his aerial presence, Dave, and I wouldn't give Jack Ross. I wouldn't give him a run for it. I wouldn't say it much, but I still think they need two up top against St Johnstone. That's to play a 4-5-1 or a 4-4-1-1. I don't know. I still think you've got to have, if you're going to score goals, you're going to have two up top at least.
Me personally, I'd be quite happy with the sort of like if it was more of a 4-3-3 with Boyle and Murphy joining the attack a lot more, bit more freedom to kind of stay up there, three attackers in a way. But we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow night. Looking forward to the game. Score predictions from you guys?
3-0 Hibs.
2-0.
Johnstone, absolutely nobody's 3-0 Hibernian.
Love the confidence. We did ask for your guys' questions. I've tried to pepper them in the podcast. There's a couple that sort of came in later on. So we've got one here from Jamie on Twitter. He's asking, can we progress when some fans have unrealistic expectations of winning every game? Everyone wants us to win every game, but surely the expectations of going out pouring of negative creates a fragile atmosphere, which isn't good for the club. I'm not a happy clapper, just realistic. Dave, are we a bit too realistic at times?
Well, I'm quite negative, right? I'm quite a moany Hibs fan. I'm well aware of that. But my problem is I'm not unrealistic. I feel like I'm realistic. I just want progression. I didn't want to be seeing a Hibs side winning Scottish Cups and then obviously you sell all your players and then you kind of go back to square one in that all the time. It's like I want to see us going, taking the next step as a club, being that club that maybe finishes third every season rather than it being Aberdeen. I'm fed up of finishing fifth and sixth and a few seasons bottom six, getting relegated, coming back, not really doing much. But I understand that we're Hibs. That's what we are, aren't we? But I just want us to see us take that next step. I'm not as money as most Hibs fans though. See, some things didn't affect me. See the whole David Tanner thing. Like I think the Stuart's fucking doesn't like Tanner, but I didn't let that affect me. It doesn't bother me that he said Murphy's on loan for Rangers because Murphy is on loan for Rangers. I think we do moan, we pick at anything. It's in our nature. But I pick at the fact that I want to see us go to the next step, and I didn't see it happening, and it's frustrating.
And the Golden Harps kind of asking here, is my prediction of us finishing fifth going to come true? I mean, obviously Dundee United sort of the closest team to us. Liam, is that sort of Aberdeen already kind of got that point ahead of us with a game in hand? Do you think third's still something we can kind of hope for, or do you think fourth or fifth is going to be a bit more realistic?
I think fourth is maybe realistic, but there's absolutely no reason why we can't challenge Aberdeen for that third spot. They're a point ahead of us. They've got a game in hand, but we've still got to play them another two times. Because I mean, both of us are going to finish in the top six, and if we manage to pick up a win against Celtic or Rangers and a point here and there against them, and if we beat Aberdeen, then we're right back in the mixer. Aberdeen are going to drop points, so are we across the rest of the season. But I think it's going to be a fist fight between us and them for third.
And the final question, I know we spoke quite a bit about the defence, so just sort of make this a quick one. But Kenny on Facebook is asking, is this the end of the cup winning rearguard and serious time to move on? Obviously, Hanlon's the only one that's kind of still playing, but is it maybe sort of time to start moving them on, or do you think they're going to sort of still be around in some way? We spoke about sort of competition being from McGregor. Do we need more than that?
Well, we've said that we need defenders in, because McGregor and Gray are here just for the last 10, 15 minutes or injuries. It looks like that anyway. So yeah, but I think it is. These guys are on that bench for injuries. End of story, or suspensions.
Dave, we spoke about a smaller squad. Can we afford to have players that are kind of not really good enough to be strong competition and are there for just in case injuries?
Nope, we cannot. I don't like the whole Gray and McGregor. Like, I'm going to get abused so bad here, but I don't like the whole Gray and McGregor loving. I think I would rather much receive players on the bench that are going to come on and produce. I'd much rather see them in a tracksuit standing at the side helping Jack Ross than sitting there with a strip on to come on.
Understand what you're saying, Dave, but what we're saying is with money, we've not got money to fill the gaps, and that's why they've got the two in there, because we've no out of 5 subs or 7 on the bench. We can't afford to have anybody on.
What, fourth biggest club in Scotland, or the fourth biggest club in the league, and we can't hear youngsters that could maybe come through? No.
Oh no, I'm not saying anything that you're wrong. But I'm just saying, as we've been told by the board that we just spoke about 15, 20 minutes ago.
We let a contracted player go in Jackson as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't know why, but now this is the thing that we could be strengthening in January, and it's probably what we need to. But it's just always my take on it. Like, I'm fair enough. Gray and McGregor are there, and they're brilliant around the club, and they're club legends and everything. Fine, brilliant. I'm all with that, and I do think they probably do bring a lot, but they don't bring a lot to the first team squad for coming onto the pitch and making a difference. They can have difference mentality and great advice and that for players and that. great, but why they can just do that as coaches.
Yeah, no, quite agree.
Liam, we've seen one of your favourites in Whittaker decide to sort of, rather than stick around, I don't know how the conversation went, but obviously he decided to go in and sort of play on a bit more and get some more football, and I think got man of the match against Dunfermline when they won. I can't remember who they were playing on Friday night. So I mean, is it a bit frustrating seeing players sort of sticking around and being happy being subs and cheerleaders almost?
Well, I wouldn't have been happy to watch my beloved Stephen Whittaker sit around on the bench. I'm happy that he's away getting a game. I mean, never in a million years is he a Scottish Championship player. English Championship, maybe. Champions League is more like it. The boy's got talent. You know what I mean? We could have done with him. You know, he's always been a good option. He did get slaughtered all the time by Hibs fans. I've made my opinions on that clear. I don't think he should ever have been slaughtered. He made a couple of mistakes when he was playing centre midfield, but the boy's a fullback. But no,
He was an easy target, wasn't he?
He was an easy target because he played for Rangers, Dave. That's the fact of the matter. But listen, don't start me on Stephen Whittaker because we'll be here all night, and I think Dave wants to play Warzone in a bit.
So yeah, well, we're going to finish up there, and we're going to finish up with a game of start bench sell, as we can always do, for a bit of fun. I was trying to think what kind of to do in terms of theme for this. I thought we'd maybe do a bit of St Johnstone edition since we're playing them tomorrow night. So I've got 3 players who in recent years have played for St Johnstone and Hibs. You've got to start one, you've got to bench one, and you've got to sell one. So we've got David Witherspoon, Liam Craig, and Danny Swanson. So David Witherspoon, great goal against Hearts. You know, a kind of exciting player that I don't know for you, but for me, I was quite surprised when we let him go.
I'd say he's probably remembered for that against Hearts. What was it? Does that know the shortest reign anybody ever holding the Scottish Cup?
I believe it is. Yes.
Yes. And then obviously that was because of David Witherspoon. So, and that's probably his best memory. But I think it's bizarre that he's a St Johnstone fan.
Yeah.
That's as well. Who the fuck supports St Johnstone?
Even if you're from Perth, why would you support St Johnstone?
No, needs to have a word with yourself.
Nobody's. Again, I want to repeat myself.
Yeah, but I obviously left us to go back to sort of boyhood team and has done quite well for himself there.
Yeah,
sort of very high regards. Liam Craig, player who was maybe a bit unfortunate, Liam, to be the captain when we got relegated.
I've always thought Liam Craig was the right player at the wrong time for us. Yeah. I always thought he was cracking when he played for St Johnstone. I'm sure he scored a hattie against us one night. I think they beat us like 5-1 or something up at McDermott Park. A few years ago, maybe about 10 or 11 years ago now. But I was delighted when he signed. He never really hit the heights with Hibs. You know, got a goal against Hearts, got a goal against Rangers. But I think absolutely he was the right player at the wrong time. It's a shame how it ended. I think there's maybe a little bit of bitterness there between Hibs and Liam Craig, just because of Terry Butcher and us getting relegated and stuff. But listen, I always thought he was a half decent player, and I think he's done all right since he's been back at St Johnstone too. And
it was let's be honest, that first season of the Championship was a bit of a transitional season, but I thought he was one of the very few players that stuck around, and I thought done a very good job. I also remember that game, the 4-0 game against Rangers Easter Road early on in the season. I thought he was fantastic. He got an assist that game and a goal, and he was really sort of dictating the tempo of the play. So a fantastic game from him then. And then the third one, Danny Swanson. Obviously such an exciting player when he came through at Dundee United. A lot of high hopes for potential Scotland caps, and a bit unlucky with injuries in his career, but we never really seen the real Danny Swanson at Hibs, Stuart, did we?
No, I felt sorry for him because he when he did play, he played well. When he was on his game, he did great. But the bad games outweighed the good games. He was mediocre, wasn't he? As you say, he got injured a few times. So, but no, I liked him.
I think he went through some personal stuff as well, which was a bit distracting, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah, of course.
Again,
it was.
Sort of a bit unfortunate at that time when he's at his boyhood club, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But no, it was probably. It's quite difficult what you're asking here. I don't. The three of the players played not too bad, but as the guy said, they never hit their potential. Don't know why.
Yeah. Aye. I think for various reasons we've never seen this sort of potential all three of them, unfortunately. But obviously, just the Johnstone link, that was it. We were kind of got them. So let's have a run through everybody then. Dave, who you starting, who you benching, and who you selling?
Start Wotherspoon, bench Craig, sell Swanson.
Any reason why?
Wotherspoon scored that goal against Hearts. Gave them one of the shittest records, and you didn't want that record, the worst defended Scottish Cup. So, for that reason. To be fair, Liam Craig could have started because he pumped Rangers 4-0, but we'll put that down to David Gray scored that game, and
Scott he scored a fucking phenomenal goal that day.
I think he had hair.
Yeah,
he had hair that
He was
time.
hanging on it. He was hanging on
it. So that'd Matt. That's what I would do. And Danny Swanson, because he never really, I would sell him because he never really got that much of a chance. Quite flair player. Like when he came on, he a few bits and bobs, but I was like, he could do a job, but it just never happened. So, yeah.
Liam, your thoughts on who you starting, benching, and selling?
It's a toss-up between Craig and Wotherspoon, isn't it? But I think I'll go for Craig. I thought he was a bit of a better player than Wotherspoon, and I'll bench Wotherspoon, and Danny Swanson can get to and do one. I didn't think he was any good at all when he came to Hibs. Utter dug meat. You can be a Hibs fan all you want, but if you're not a good football player, then why at Hibs? Get Hibs.
Stuart, who are you starting, benching, and selling?
The same as Dave. Swanson, sell him. Play Witherspoon. I thought he was exceptional. He was young. What age is he now? And he's still kicking a ball. So he was a very young player when we had him. And Liam Craig, he had these games, but he never set never set him fire, did he? But no, Witherspoon for me to play.
I'm going to go for Danny Swanson to start, just because I don't think he got the opportunity he should have got.
That's not how it works,
I don't think he got the opportunities he should have, and I know there was, like I mentioned earlier, some personal stuff, but also the fact that the Hearts game where he had to get pulled away because he was taunting the Hearts fans so much. Just for that, I'm starting him. I'm benching Witherspoon, which is probably the reason why he left, because he was on the bench too much. And for that reason, I'm selling Liam Craig just because he's the one that's left. But yeah, just because he was a massive Hibby, and that I loved right in front of us when he was getting pulled away, taunting the Hearts fans. I loved it. So for that reason, he's starting every week.
Well, Gav, if we're talking about players that never got their chance, I'm going to start Stephen Whittaker.
Aye, no, fair play. It's great to see him doing well. I'd love to see him win the championship this year with Dunfermline. Fingers crossed for Stephen.
Yeah,
no other reason, just for Stephen.
Absolutely.
No at all. So, what you guys got planned for the rest of the night?
Absolutely, hee-haw, mate. Probably play COD. Maybe watch some football if there's any on.
Burnley, I think.
Not going to watch the football. Fuck me. Sorry, what you doing?
Editing the podcast, and then I might message you to see if you're going on Call of Duty. That's my only sort of plans. But yeah, editing the podcast and hopefully get up nice and soon. Because we've recorded a bit earlier today, so hopefully get us up at a decent time. Especially
by the way,
the Johnstone game tomorrow.
Burnley's beating Palace 1-0.
Spoilers, I might have been recording that.
Aye, right. But you're recording Burnley game? It's 30 minutes gone, 1-0.
Right.
And it's Wolves Southampton tonight, so that'll be a good game.
No, the worst game. I might just put that on that.
I think I'll be watching that because it's Southampton are top of the league and Wolves play nice football as well. So I think I'll watch that.
Aye. And your plans for tonight, Liam?
I think we'll be on Call of Duty for a bit. Try and get a win. Chances slim, but we'll have a go.
Is that not just shooting folk? Is it? I've never played it in my life. Fuck shit.
It's a bit young for you.
Okay.
Is it young for me?
You need some half decent hand-eye coordination.
Aye, okay, right. Aye. So you just go shooting anybody. Right, that's it. That's a good game, Matt. Fuck's sake, man. Get a grown-up game, man.
So
We'll
we'll finish
play
up.
that when they're in their teens. Fuck's sake.
So we'll be back later in the week to review the St Johnstone game and look ahead to the Dundee game. Enjoy the rest of your week, folks. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and we'll speak to you later in the week.
Catch
Cheers.
you after.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Sorry,